Sup people? Woo! It's your boy the Soaring Eagle, and on today's Shred session we'll be demoing the brand new Mesa Boogie Rectifier Badlander. I'm super excited. Let's do this! Hey everybody, good to see everyone. Super stoked to do this demo for you today. We are looking at the brand new Mesa Boogie Badlander. This video will really focus on the sound of this amplifier going through a good old 4x12 speaker cab. We'll look at both different channels and the three modes within each channel, which include clean, crunch, and crush. Super awesome. We'll also look at the multi-wattage settings, which you can go from 100 down to 50 down to 20 watts. And we'll also look at the two different power settings, which are bold and variac. Now, if you're familiar with this amplifier, it also has a built-in cab IR where you can run directly out the back of your amplifier straight into your computer interface. I'm going to demo that in a separate video. But the signal chain for this entire video will be my 7-string Kiesel SCB. In the bridge, I have a DiMarzio Super Distortion. And the neck, I have a DiMarzio deactivator. I am using a Curlin 1/4-inch cable going straight into the amp, which I think you'll find surprising because with all the gain it has, it's pretty quiet. And then I have a Mesa 4x12 stiletto cab, and I'm using a Shure SM57 microphone straight into my computer. And before we walk away today, I'll have a special request section. I had an unboxing video I did last week of this amp, and I'll leave that link for that video in the description below. And I asked you, what did you want to know? What did you want to hear from this amplifier? I was actually able to accommodate some of your requests. I will also accommodate some of your requests in another demo video that I am working on. So super stoked. I'll make sure I give you a shout out. Thank you for all the suggestions and questions. I loved diving into this amp and finding out the answers to those questions for you. So now that's out the way, make sure you hit the subscribe button and let's jump into some tones, baby. Oh yeah! Alright everybody, so the first thing we're going to look at is the Crush channel. I have everything set at 12 o'clock on channel 1 and channel 2, except for the master volume because this puppy is loud. So what I'll do is just play a couple riffs and I'll bounce back and forth between the two channels and let's see if they sound similar. So 12 o'clock, channel 1, Crush mode, let's go. So, I find it interesting. I have everything dialed in at 12 o'clock as best as I can, but channel 1 and channel 2 have a little bit of a difference in the characteristics. What'd you think? Let me know below. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm back in channel 1 in the Crush mode, everything at 12 o'clock. I'm just going to start playing some riffs, dialing in some tones. We'll see what we come up with. let's go ahead and jump into channel 2. And then we'll just kind of dial in some knobs there too, and then we'll switch back and forth between the two channels and see how she sounds. Oh man, she sounds nice. Let's just kind of jump back and forth between channel 1 and 2 with the settings I dialed in. So that's just a little taste of the versatility of the amp. As you could tell, every little knob that you change really affects the tone overall, and you can really kind of dial in your own style and your own feel. I'm really digging what I've got dialed in so far, so I love it. So let's just kind of, we'll stick in channel 2, and let's just try out the various different wattage modes and see how it kind of affects the tones and the overall volume. Pretty cool, I like it. You can definitely tell you can get some good bedroom volumes out of it. Alright, so I'm back in channel 2 in the crush mode still, and we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between the bold and variac power settings and see the difference. So let's do it. This is from bold mode right now. So pretty cool. I mean, I think that you'll have to dial in tones for each different power mode. But the variac mode does kind of loosen up the tone a little bit and gives you a little bit more different of a feel for the amplifier. So super cool. Definitely a feature you should check out. Alright, so now I am in the crunch mode. I am in channel 1, and I have everything set back at 12 o'clock. Let's kind of jam on it, and we'll bounce back between the two channels. Pretty cool. Let's go back to channel 1 and let's just start kind of dialing in some tones and show you how you can make this thing sound the way you want it to sound. Awesome. Let's do it in channel 2. 12 o'clock, dialing it in. Oh man, that's awesome. What I'm going to do is stick into channel 2, and I think we kind of understand what the multi-watts mode, the multi-wattage feature does. So let's kind of go to bold variac and see what she does. So in bold still. Oh man, that sounds so good. She's so deep and rich, and the two different power modes really do give you two different kind of structures in which you can build your tone from. All right, so I want to do one more thing in the crunch mode. I know some people kind of like to get some more classic rock feel to it, as more as a heavier tone, where I play more metal. So let's kind of dial back the gain a little bit and see what kind of crunch tones we can get. All right, so you can definitely see you have a wide range in the gain structure as well, so you can kind of dial it back a little bit to get some more classic tones, or you can really crank it and still get some highly saturated metal tones in the crunch channel as well. All right, so now we're going to look at the clean channel, which is something that really drew me in about this amp. If you've been playing high gain amplifiers like I have for a long time, you know sometimes the clean channels aren't necessarily the best, unless you have a 3-channel amp and then you can dial in a little bit more. So I have it in channel 1, everything at 12 o'clock. Now at the gain at 12 o'clock, you will still get a little bit of breakup, but we're going to dial that back a little bit because I want you to see how glistening clean that this amplifier can get. And for your reference, I am now in the neck position. I'm using the DiMarzio deactivator. Even with the gain at 12, listen to how clean that is. I'm going to dial the gain back just a little bit. And this is still with all the other settings at 12 o'clock. Haven't even dialed the tone in yet. You can see this thing really has an excellent clean channel for a high gain amplifier. All right, so now I'm going to start dialing in some tones on the clean channels. You can hear the versatility. I have the gain still set at about, I'd say 10 o'clock, and then we'll move some of the knobs around and see what she can do. All right, so let's run that full riff with the dialed in settings I kind of really into. So as you can see, this thing has a really awesome clean channel, and it sounds the same way in channel 2. So I'm really stoked about this, so I can kind of really get some versatility of what myself and my band is doing right now. Awesome. All right, so like I said earlier in the video, I wanted to add this request or Q&A section, if you will. A few of you had questions in my unboxing video from last week, so I want to address them. The first one comes from Jimmy, and it's a good question. There's actually a headphone jack on the back of this amp, and he was wondering if you're using the headphones, there's different cab IR settings per channel. And he wanted to know that if you had the headphones on, could you select through those and hear the changes to the cabs? Well, I tried that out for you, Jimmy, and the answer is yes. Yes, it does, which I responded to you from your original question and comment. So basically, and I'm going to show this more in the cab IR demo that I'm working on, that yes, so as you're dialing in settings on the amp, you can also change the cab IR, and it will actually change those sounds in the headphones. So that's awesome. All right, so the next question I had came from SiNN Circus, and he wanted to know, can the Badlander also produce a looser sounding kind of tones versus the tight tones that it's kind of already getting a reputation for having? I would tell you that the answer is yes, because you have a lot of versatility here, and you really do have a wide range of what you can do with the amp. Plus you have the bold and the variac power settings. I think the variac power setting actually does that to me, to my ears. It loosens things up a little bit. Although the instruction manual says it's maybe kind of hard to dial in some solid tones in the crush channel in variac mode, I find that you actually can. So I'm in channel 2 and I'm in crush, and I'm going to go ahead and just play some chugs for you in the bold power setting and switch to variac and see if that gives you an idea of what you're looking for. So, Mr. SiNN Circus, hopefully that gives you a kind of an idea. I mean, but also I didn't mess with the knobs, so I think with the 2 different power modes and dialing the knobs, you might be able to find what you're looking for. Now, the next request also came from SiNN Circus, and it was a really good question. He wanted to know that in the crunch mode, could you roll back the volume knob and still get a good clean tone? And that is because, you know, basically it doesn't have 3 channels, so if you're used to doing that and dialing in your live sound, you want to know if you can still get a good clean tone and just roll that volume up, and that crunch is going to jump right in. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the crunch mode for you in channel 1. I'll kind of crank the gain a little bit past 12 o'clock, and here's what it sounds like. All right, so now I'm going to roll back the volume, all right, and kind of see if we can get a clean tone. Now you still have a little bit of breakup, I'm sure y'all heard that. So let's say we dial the gain back just a little under 12 o'clock. Let's kind of stay in crunch mode, and this is with volume full. Okay, now let's dial back the volume knob, and let's see if we can get a clean tone. So in my opinion, the answer is yes, you can do that. And also, that was in the bridge position, so with the super distortion. So if I did it in the neck position and you had it in crunch full volume, then you roll back the volume. So the answer is yes, most definitely, Mr. SiNN Circus. Thanks for the question. All right, and the last question was for this particular demo comes from my buddy Jakak. That's the only way I know how to pronounce that, Jakak. But he wanted to know about the DiMarzio X2N and how it sounded on the different modes on this amp. If you're not familiar with the DiMarzio X2N, it is a very high output passive pickup from DiMarzio, and it absolutely just opens everything up to any amp you plug it into. So I have my Ibanez 7-string. I've got the X2N in the bridge position. We're going to start in channel 2 in the crush mode, and let's see what we get. Alright, so that is in the crush mode, so it's now going to crunch. We'll keep everything kind of the same here. Oh boy. And now, with it being a very high gain output pickup, let's put it in the clean mode. I am going to dial the gain back. I'm going to put it right around 10 o'clock, and this is still in the bridge position, and let's see how it sounds like in the clean mode. So there's still some breakup there, so let's pull the gain back a little bit and see if we can get a super clean tone with this X2N. So I would tell you, Jack, that you can absolutely get some clean tones, some blistering crunch, and super blistering crush tones for sure. Thanks for the question. Alright, so in conclusion, the Mesa Boogie Rectifier Badlander is a different type of rectifier. The crush channel especially gives you that extra gain saturation, and in my opinion, you can really get those awesome saturated metal and rock tones without using the tube screamer, which I think is great. Also, the clean channel, as you can tell, has lots of headroom, lots of versatility in the tones, which I think is very important for a high gain amplifier. So this thing is just great for me. But this is only the first demo of many demos I'm doing on this amp. The next one I'm looking at doing is the cab IRs, because a lot of you have asked about that. And I want to do an amp shootout. I don't have every amp in the world, but I do have a PV6505 Plus, and I'd like to stack those things on top of each other and see how they compare. So that interests you, let me know in the comments below what you think about the amp itself. What are some other questions that you have? Let's have a conversation about it. I thoroughly enjoy it. But we're almost at 300 subscribers. Thank you everybody for the support. So do me a favor, please hit the subscribe button below, hit the like button below, and there's so many more videos coming your way. I hope you and your families are doing well. Thank you for your time. Soar and Eagle out, baby. Woo!